Sup Veggie Outers, this is Elijah here. I'm glad to say that we just got done filming and experiencing our 9-year anniversary for the Veggie Outers. We got to enjoy ourselves and we got to cover a lot of things that will be coming up in the upcoming year, as well as giving particular shout outs to people who have helped keep the Veggie Outers afloat, whether it be behind the scenes or a little more directly involved. I personally would say that 2024 was actually probably the best year for the Veggie Outers because we've done things on a bigger scale than we ever had before. This included producing a documentary called The Lord of Veggie Outers that is available for you to view on YouTube, as well as just expanding the group into other avenues, not just reviewing restaurants and food, but doing more activities such as we did in 2023 and to some degree 2022. I'm looking to keep that momentum going into this new year of 2025. Of course, I'm not going to just recap the whole event here. We're going to go ahead and show some footage of the actual event so that y'all can see what we talked about, see some of the delectable food that Sankofa Kitchen provided us. And speaking of Sankofa Kitchen, I do want to give a massive shout out to Sankofa Kitchen for allowing us to have our anniversary at their restaurant. I want to personally thank Damon Fields, who's the owner of Sankofa Kitchen, for being able to host us. Now that we've covered that, let's get into the actual event itself.
Okay, Veggie Outers, can I have y'all's attention? I want to thank all of y'all for showing up for the 9th anniversary of the Veggie Outers. It's actually kind of crazy because next year we'll actually be hitting officially 10 years, which is amazing in itself. So let me formally introduce myself. My name is Elijah Lau. I'm the founder of the Veggie Outers. Originally, the Veggie Outers was started to help people consume more plant-based foods by giving them the education they need, and also get them exposure to more vegan restaurants or restaurants that have vegan options. We've kind of evolved into more of a social group that kind of proves that you can eat healthy and you can meet people, have friends, and go out and have a good time. That's why I'm glad that y'all come out to support us for this 9th anniversary. I do want to give some few announcements because we have some people that are newer to the brand and some people who are OGs, like David. Let's give David a shout out. He's an OG Veggie Out. And so is Michelle, the videographer that's filming us. Okay, so first off, I want to give a special thanks to people who have supported buying products from me, because the Veggie Outers is sponsored from my businesses, the Side Hustler Society and Financial Anatomy, as well as the merch that you see me wearing. So people who have bought some of those things throughout the years, I want to give a shout out to Melissa. And some of these people aren't here, but I'm giving y'all a shout out because this will be noted in the video. She had purchased my book, The Anatomy of Financial Success. I want to give a shout out to Gail. She's over there. She bought a t-shirt for Sister Lynn. Let's give her a round of applause. I want to give a shout out to Marla. She's not with us, but she also bought a Veggie Outers shirt. So did Jeanette. I want to give a shout out to Travis, aka Triz. He's bought my book, The Anatomy of Financial Success. And years back, we were going to have something called a Veggie Hangout in the Park, where we get some vegan food, kind of hang out in the park. But the vegan caterers, she had a deaf in the family, so we had to cancel the event. But there were people that gave money to that event, so I'm going to count them as well. Let's give a shout out to Mike, who's right in front of us. Let's give a shout out for Daisy. She's not with us, and she also gave money to that event. Let's give a shout out to Kevin Miles. He bought my book, The Anatomy of Financial Success, as well as Tony. And a bigger shout out to David, because he not only has bought my book, but he is also, it was a birthday present, but last year he got me this this phone stand that allows your phone to stay up straight and working. And actually he was actually on board the Lord of Veggie Outers, which is the mini documentary we did earlier this year. Let's give a big shout out to David. So moving on, I do want to say that some of you OG Veggie Outers probably remember this, but the original premise of the Veggie Outers, like I said, it is to help people make the transition to a plant-based diet or eat more plant-based foods. But some of the newer members don't actually know that I was working on a book called Lifestyle versus Death Style, where I would not only talk about veganism, but health and wellness in general, different alternative therapies like ozone therapy, herbology, the magic with crystals, in addition to veganism and raw foods. That got lost in the sauce throughout the years because I took more of a financial perspective, and that was what the market needed me to do. But even though I can't write that book, I am going to start live streaming in the Veggie Outers to break down that information so the information can still be out there. So at least once a month, y'all can hold me accountable to this. If y'all don't see something pop up in once a month, like, yo, Elijah, where's our live stream at? So feel free to hold me accountable. I'll be streaming in the Facebook group once a month, and we'll talk about veganism, raw foods, ozone therapy, some of the things that I was going to break down in the book, as well as juicing. So keep your eyes peeled for that. And I'm pretty excited because health and wellness is still a passion of mine, and I've gathered a lot of knowledge throughout the years. I want to give that to y'all. That being said, I think that covers it for the announcements. I want to thank y'all for attending once again, and let's have a good time. So normally we review the restaurant that we go to, but we've been here before and we reviewed them and they have a very favorable review. Recommend you check it out on our website. It's going to be linked in the description and also on the card. But we're going to do something different since this is our anniversary. I'm going to be asking people what was their most memorable moment they've experienced with the Veggie Outers. A lot of people are going to ask me to answer this question too, so here's my answer. As y'all know, last year we did a mini little documentary. It's available on YouTube for you to watch, called The Lore of the Veggie Outers. And putting that together was actually my most memorable thing out of all my years with the Veggie Outers, organized and including, because I got a chance to actually go talk to the restaurant owners, some people we've actually been to their restaurant. I'll talk to them about how they got started, what's the most memorable thing on their menu, what's the most underrated thing. So it gave some exposure in a different way to these vegan restaurants, and that was pretty cool. On top of that, we did get to share a lot of memorable, funny moments with the Veggie Outers, such as the bloopers, and we shared some things that a lot of people who are newer to the group don't actually know about us. So that was my most memorable thing so far. Again, you can check out The Lore of the Veggie Outers in the description and also in the pinned comment. With my answer been out the way, let's go ahead and move on and see what some of the other Veggie Outers had to say. So David, what was your most memorable moment on with the Veggie Outers?
I think it was early on. One of the very first meetups that I can remember was to Spyro Diner. Back when Spyro Diner was still in Dallas.
Yeah.
Now they moved over to, what was it, Arlington or Fort Worth? But I had one of the best burgers I've ever had, and it was completely vegan. So it was super good, like even better than actual meat burgers, which was surprising. I think that meetup, and then like back then it was everybody who was like new, it just made it a really fun experience. So I would say that first meetup at Spiral.
My most memorable moment was when we went to V Eats. It was new and there was a long line and we waited forever, but once we got the food, it was really good and worth the wait. And yeah, that's my most memorable moment.
I think there's a tie. One is when we did the hike over at the Cedar Ridge Preserve. I really liked that. I think I only did half the hike, but probably I could do the whole thing this time if we ever do it again. But yeah, I enjoyed the hike. I thought that was really a fun non-food based thing that we did. And the other one was when we went to It's So Vegan. It was interesting because it was like their first week or something. It wasn't the first day, but it was like during their first week. And I remember it doesn't sound good.
Your first meetup, right?
Yeah, that was my very first meetup with the Veggie Outers. That was right after I discovered it. But it's kind of a memorable thing for me because I remember they kept running out of stuff. But I mean, I don't mean that as an insult because I think they've definitely kept going. You know, they're definitely still one of my favorite vegan places to eat. But they were so new at it and I think that they just didn't expect the response they'd get for that first week, and so it was just kind of funny the way you'd order something. Oh, sorry, we're out of that. You'd order something else, they're out of that. But I think I got like I think I ended up getting like the burger or the chicken sandwich or whatever it was. So yeah, I think that my very first meetup and that hike are tied for my most memorable moments.
So Mike,
Yes.
what was your most memorable moment in the Veggie Hour so far?
In all years or in 2024?
It can be in all years, but if it happens to be in 2024, feel free to mention it.
So there's a couple. The first thing that sticks out to me in 2023, we went to the like Voodoo Lounge, and I know that we had an interesting experience with the food, but what I really loved about that day was that the attendance was so high, and I feel like that was the one event where all the Veggie Outers showed up, and it was kind of like a family reunion in a way. So it was a really pleasant experience despite like the issues we had with the food. And in the past year, I just enjoy the meetups where we would meet outside after and just have a discussion until midnight or 1 a.m. Like there was
the Veggie Outers after party. That's
the after party.
Calling it.
Yeah, I love we have the best discussions like after the meetup. And I'll go to the meetup at 6, and then we'll be outside until midnight. And one of them was in Fort Worth, and I drove from Fort Worth, and I got home at like 1 a.m. And you would think I was out in the bars, like jumping from table to table. Nah, we were just outside having a discussion. So yeah, I love that we can have some really interesting, profound discussions with each other after the meetups. Can I give like a brief like review of this place in the video?
Sure, I can
Because
do that.
I just loved, I got the fish here, and I wasn't here the last time. The fish is phenomenal. And the beans, I got the fish salad and the beans, and the smoothie was very like refreshing. It had like an apple beet flavor, but the fish, best fish I've ever had. So I didn't get to say it in the last video because I wasn't here, so I just wanted to plug it in here.
All right,
Yeah.
we'll include that in the tape.
All right.
So, Lucia,
Yeah,
what was your most memorable Veggie Outers moment?
that would have been the first meetup of 2024, because that was actually my first meetup with the group. I was lurking the group the entire time, but that was my very first meetup. And that was also the meetup that I finally met Mike, and we were like best friends now, so I
Y'all
think
met
that's...
at that meetup?
Yep. Because we had followed each other on Instagram for like months, because he always popped up in the same events I did, but I never knew who he was. And then I met him at our meetup, and I'm like, oh, cool. So yeah, that's definitely the most memorable event that we've had.
That's a good question. Honestly, I would say my most memorable moment was, or has been, there's honestly been like a series of them, and I would say some of the biggest ones have been when we finish every event. We always kind of like hang out and converse afterwards, and like we'll talk till like maybe 1 in the morning. So like an event will end at like 9, but we're like all chatting and like hanging out till like maybe 1 in the morning. So I would say those have been some of the most memorable moments for me, because that just kind of goes to show the chemistry that the group has, the conversation and the in-depth conversation that we all have, and just the interest that we have in each other's lives and journeys, and why, we choose to be vegan, or why, what other options or things that we're involved in and professionally. So it's always been like really, really great conversation. I would say like from some of the other groups and meetups that I've joined, this has been the first one where I have kind of been like consistently involved, and like also have been able to like meet people and like develop and build friendships and relationships. And someone that I met in the group, we had a sleepover, a slumber party at my house, you know what I'm saying? So it's been really great just getting to bond with people. And then Mike, you'll probably see him later. He's like my fave. He's my favorite person. So I would say that those have been some of the most memorable moments for me in my time with the Veggie Outers.
Okay.
Yeah.
What she's talking about, we're kind of self-dubbing it the Veggie Outers after party. We're just kind of hanging out after the actual event. So, Lisa, what was your most memorable moment with the Veggie Outers?
Well, there have been a lot of good times, but I'm going to say when we did something a little different, we went to the Bowl Lounge and got food there, and just the atmosphere was great with a lot of people playing games and stuff, and they had different kinds of like craft beers and they had the cauliflower buffalo wings, which were excellent. And I think we all had a really nice time going to that place. That was great.
Well, you know, there are a lot. Every time I come to a Veggie Outers meeting or dinner, it's a lot of fun. But I think my most memorable would be the restaurant we were at when a robot delivered our food. And that robot messed up a lot of orders, I remember. They probably have a regular person delivering the food now, regular waiter. But anyway, yeah, I don't even know what kind of food it was. But everywhere we've been, it's pretty good food. Yeah, and so that would probably be my most memorable.
So this is only my second time being with the Veggie Outers. Last time I went to Indian Bistro. The funny thing is the conversation about the robot waiter. I had never experienced one. That was my first time doing it then, but it's very interesting because I know there was a very big topic, so I started looking into it. Still haven't been to a place that had one, but definitely, for whatever reason, the robot waiter sticks out in my head.
That about covers it for our 9-year anniversary. Once again, I want to thank all the Veggie Outers who showed up for the anniversary, and for those of y'all that have supported us throughout the years. 2025, we'll be looking at doing bigger and better things, so let's keep that momentum going, and I'll catch you at the next meetup. Peace out.